This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All content provided is intended for educational purposes only.
I'm fucking bleeding!
Just one of those.
Fuck yeah!
Everybody sucks. You know why? But you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days.
Yo, what is up? Welcome back to the weekly Q&A. Today, we are discussing how to manage emotions on gear, the juice, the steroids, the trenzzilla, high test, all that shit, and then also how to manage bodybuilding with work, job, career. So, we're gonna start with the gear first question. The best way that I have learned to manage the gear emotions, because when you are taking gear, your emotions are heightened like a motherfucker. Like, you rage out on and get frustrated a lot, just because your hormones are just elevated so fucking much. So, excuse me, I just ate a meal. The best way that I know a lot of people do, a lot of people smoke weed. A lot of bodybuilders, and they might not talk about it, but they definitely smoke weed a lot, just to like relax you, because you're going through all these things, right? Especially during prep, you're going through all these emotions, hunger, frustration, and weed kind of desensitizes, kind of chills you out, depending on what you're smoking. But for me, I don't really like smoking weed. I haven't smoked weed in a long time, just because I don't like how it makes me feel. I just feel unmotivated and just kind of drowsy. I'll occasionally smoke nicotine. Haven't been recently, just because bodybuilding, and I'm just trying to focus on getting the most out of I can this year, because if you smoke too much nicotine, it actually increases your cortisol levels, which is bad for muscle recovery. But a little bit is okay. I feel like everything is chill in moderation. Smoking weed, I don't see a big issue with that. Smoking nicotine, not a real big issue. It's not going to destroy your gains or anything like that. But I feel like the best way to manage your, emotions and stuff is go to the gym as early as you can and get all that pent up aggression out, or get out all that energy, because when you channel that frustration and energy on the weights, afterwards, the rest of the day is chill. Like, I'm making this video right now because I'm chill as fuck. I just worked out. I feel fucking great. If I made this video before I worked out, I'd be pretty aggressive, like some of the introduction videos I make, where I'm like, shut the fuck up, let's hit some weights, because you're just so much heightened, the energy's there, you feel it, and that's why it's kind of, a little dangerous driving to the gym, or road rage. I got in a road rage incident. Somebody was trying to cut me off, race me, and they pulled over, and I pulled over, and I was waiting for them to get out of the car, because if they got out of the car, I'd fucking get out of the car. But luckily they didn't, and they just drove off, and so did I. But it's just like, dude, you react so high to like little things. Like, I blew up. And it's always before you work out. Like, if you do your cardio and like you make sure you're getting you're exerting that energy correctly, it shouldn't be a problem. Also, what's helped me a lot is taking deep breaths, which sounds pretty silly, but 1, 2, like in through the nose, out through the mouth. Like 2 deep breaths if you're really like heated about something. Every time I'm getting, those thoughts, and I'm raging out in my head, I keep it in my head for like 10 more seconds. I don't like immediately shoot it out. Like, try your best to have those conversations. Like, if somebody says something to you or someone's doing this, like, have it in your head and just look at them and then just take a deep breath. A lot of times I will pop off on somebody, but keep it in my head. And that's actually way better, because then you don't actually cause any trouble or do anything to people. And because you're on a lot of gear, and if you guys don't have like conversations in your head, or like if you guys don't like sit and just kind of like contemplate life, like try and get used to that. Just like when people ask you questions, don't like immediately answer them. Just kind of like, take your time to answer it. You don't there's like a weird philosophy where life is how you project it, so, and how you receive it. So like your perception. So when somebody asks you something, or somebody says an insult to you, you could take it any way. You could take it as any way you want, and it's going to affect you, different ways how you take it. And that's all how about the thinking process is like, I could take this very, negatively, or I could laugh about it and just fucking blow it off. Or I can not say anything at all and just look at them, which I like doing it. I just like looking at people and just like, because then they just sit there and they're like, oh, that was kind of rude. And then you just walk away or something. But get used to like, holding your thoughts in your head, not speaking like immediately, taking deep breaths. Huge. If that's that one thing you guys take away from this video, just take some breaths, man. Like before you say something, just because it really does help. It really does help. And when you're on that much gear, or if you're on a lot of gear and you're just, hormones are just so elevated, bro, you feel like you're going to explode, or you're going to pop off, you're going to rip somebody's head off. And it's always like of weird situations, or if you're just feeling really anxious, maybe you're feeling really anxious or really like paranoid or something. Take some deep breaths. And then answer the question, whatever it is. Keep your answer short. Keep everything short and quick. Yes or no's. Yup. Or you could just not say anything at all. It's the whole part of like getting better at channeling and controlling your emotions just comes from, experience with the gear, experience feeling that way. And I feel like there's a lot of wisdom that comes through, that experience, because then you learn yourself more. You learn about yourself more, how why am I feeling like this? Why am I popping off like this? And you actually like think about it after the fact. Like if you explode on somebody for, cutting you off in line, and then, you think about it, you're like, damn, I was about to fucking beat the shit out of that person for no reason. Like something that does not need to happen. And it's just about taking breaths, man. It's so crazy how when you're that elevated, but that elevation, guys, that feeling, that aggression, that energy that the gear brings is good. We want that, but we want to channel that in the gym. We'll channel that to bodybuilding, channeling that to be Mr. O, to be the best. And you can't be the best if you're, fighting people or you're blowing up on people. I gotta get way better at that. Because when I'm in the gym, I'm going ham, and sometimes people want to talk to me, and I feel bad because I just want to kill it. So I don't really talk to people at all, and I always have like my mad dog kill face on. And they kind of get the hint, but I feel like a really like developed bodybuilder will still be able to fucking kill their sets and then take a deep breath And there's a fucking bug in here. Get the fuck out. Bug. You know, and I feel like that's all about like the whole maturity, just experience, just learning. Because dude, even when I was off gear, I would have problems like controlling my anger. I'd punch walls and shit and like headbutt shit and fucking. And honestly, that's okay to like let your emotions out, but just don't do it on people or things. Just kind of like, if you gotta fucking scream and let out a fucking roar or fucking like a war cry, fucking do it, man. Who gives a fuck, you know? But like, don't fucking punch somebody's teeth out, or don't punch a wall, or fucking punch a window and shit, you know? Because it just like, I mean, do whatever you want, man. I punched plenty of walls. And actually, I would argue that punching walls is good for you because it builds up the cartilage in your knuckles. So maybe if you are feeling pretty aggressive, punch something that isn't gonna like damage property. So if it's your own fucking wall, fuck it, punch your own wall. If it's your tree outside, punch the tree. If you got a boxing fucking heavy bag, beat the shit out of the heavy bag. Because I feel like for men, like punching things is like a really great way to like let out that aggression. Also working out. So, you know, there's a couple things you could do. You could also think of, you know, people that you look up to and think of like them and how they would react to something. Or I guess you could also, you know, in a moment, take a deep breath and think like, is this really worth it? You know, think about your goals. Is this going to push me closer or away from my goals? You can think about your parents or like your mom. Be like, is my mom going to be proud of me if I fucking do this right now? You can do a lot of things, but for me, what works the best is either, you know, taking deep breaths, having, you know, explode in my head and not actually verbalize it. So explode on someone in my head and then take a deep breath and not say it. And then just you can kind of see it in my face, but it's better than actually saying that shit, because sometimes you got some vulgar, nasty fucking shit that you just bester up in there, man. I've said some shit, and it's actually kind of poetic the way your brain fucking altercates curse words and violence and aggression, you know, simultaneously in the moment of, you know, the moment when it occurs. You're just like like a fucking attack dog. And I don't think that's bad if you're taking it out on the weights or like the gym or whatever the sport is, and you're getting better and you're pushing yourself as hard as you can, because that's what it's all about. But as long as you don't do it to other people and stuff like that, your parents and stuff like that, just take the deep breaths, have it explode in your head. Because if you're looking at somebody angry and shit, like, it's better looking at somebody angry and explode in your head than to actually like say those horrible words, because then it's gonna hurt their feelings, and then, you know, it might start a fight and shit, especially if it's a girl or your girlfriend and you're like, something they did is just like racking you up, or something they say. Just keep it in your fucking head, because girls will hold on to that and not forget it. Girls don't know the whole gear process unless they've like, you know, unless they're into bodybuilding, and they don't really know that that's not you all the time. Like, you don't mean that. And, you know, if that's not you all the time, why say it, you know? But, yeah, let's go to the next question. Managing bodybuilding while, you know, having a job and stuff like that. So what I did when I was first starting out, I got a job as a fitness coach, fitness trainer. I got my training certification, and I was working at a 24-hour as a coach, as a trainer. And when you work as a trainer, you get to make your own schedule, per se, pretty much. Like, your clients pick hours throughout the day, and you try and have it like in an 8-hour window, so you're not just, you know, driving back here and there. That's the only problem with that job, because sometimes it takes up your whole day, but you have clients like spread out. So 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 at the end of the day. And that kind of sucks because then your whole day is kind of at the gym. But that was a good way for me to get more serious into bodybuilding, because then I got all my meals. I'm at the gym all day. I get to it's like a gym environment, so it's an easy ass job. You get to literally just tell people, make them a program, and tell them what to do, and just, you know, push, go, yep, good form, good job, you want more. So easy, bro. As long as you got a couple brain cells, you could get a NASM certification or ISM. The trainer certifications, they sell them online. And then you don't need like a degree or anything. And I think you could get that certification before you're 18. But if you're under 18, you could always work at the front desk. That's a good way into, the whole realm, because then you see all the bodybuilders, competitors, and stuff like that. But being a trainer, work your way up, become like a master coach, become like a gym assistant manager. A lot of my buddies, what they did, they started competing, or they didn't even start competing, bro. They started training people at their house, like at the garage. So they would post on like Facebook or Instagram, and like train their neighbors and stuff like that, at certain times, at the house, because they had like weights at the house. And they'd just blast music and be like, all right, for 30 minutes or an hour, I'll charge you $20. We'll work out for an hour and I'll push you through like a chest workout or arms or whatever it is. And he was actually making a lot of money doing it at the house, because you don't pay rent at your house. So you just have people pull up. And especially women like having trainers. So if you're not a creep and you could like find a way to like get good at training women, or just reading up on how the woman body works and like best ways to build muscle, lose fat, and stuff like that, or build big glutes or whatever it is, women will actually stay with their trainer for a long time. Like, unlike males will like train a little bit with their trainer, then they figure it out and they're like, okay, I could do this on my own. Women, like, they like to have the companionship of somebody to help them through the workout, someone to talk to, pretty much like to talk to, and like someone to help them push through their workout, because it's part of the whole package. You get like a person, like a friend that gets to train with you, pretty much, that you're paying. But he started in his garage, and now he has his own gym because he saved up a shit ton of money from doing that. And now he does coaching, he competes, he has his own gym, and he just trains people at the gym. He hired like other trainers and stuff. And I feel like doing it that way is much more lucrative, because you can make your own hours, and then you could charge whatever you want to charge. If you work for another company as like a trainer, they're going to charge their charge, and then you just get paid hourly. So let's say they charge a client $100 and you're only getting paid $20 an hour. It's not fair, because they're paying $100 and you're only getting $20. So you should be getting the whole $100. So that's why he was doing it at his house, because he was just making bank doing that shit, training 10 people a day. You can start off with one person a day. It could be like a family member, and then their friends and stuff like that, and have them come through, and just stick with it. But if you have like a legit ass fucking career and a job and stuff, let's say you do construction or whatever. I did construction for a little bit, and I would always work out after work. And I feel like that's a lot harder to build muscle, because you're burning a shit ton of calories throughout the day, and you don't get to really have those time throughout the day to eat your meals. And everyone shits on you for like, oh, you think you're a bodybuilder, oh, you're trying to get big, you're trying to eat all your food. And they don't give you enough time to eat your food, which is really retarded, because it's like, how am I going to fucking grow? I'm burning all these fucking calories working for your bum ass, and then I'm trying to like work out after work, after I'm fucking burning calories all day and barely eating. So if you do construction, I'd say working out before work is probably way better, just smashing food and going to sleep. But if you wake up really fucking early for work, then you really just gotta lock in on meal prepping all your food, cramming it in those times you could eat your food. Try and do every 2 hours if you can. If they bitch at you, they bitch at you. Eventually they might get cooler with you, you know, eating the food and realize that you're trying to fucking get big. But any other jobs there is out there, you just gotta really like lock in on the meal prep, and then figure out the best time to work out for you. I don't like working out in the morning just because I like to have a couple meals in my system. And but recently I've been doing the fasted cardio for like the last fucking 6 months and shit, and I want to work out in the morning just because I pin all my gear and I feel fresh. But those workouts, I know if I worked out, I wouldn't be as strong as I would be later in the day. But if I would give somebody advice on like a job to do something in the, you know, gym culture, fitness, working at a gym, working at a nutrition shop, work at like a GNC or a vitamin shop, those are great because then you get to learn about all the supplements and stuff like that. Work at a job where you don't have to like burn a lot of calories. Maybe something in the food industry, the service industry, something that's chill where they give you time to eat food. But it's hard, bro. It's literally hard. I'm doing this full time. I quit all my jobs a while ago, and I just full sent it. And I was living with my mom, just doing, you know, content creating, and, you know, coaching people online. Because once you start building yourself and looking a certain way, people look up to your physique and like, damn, how'd you do that? And you could market yourself as, you know, a way to make money and stuff like that. A lot of people do that. It's not that hard to make, you know, workout programs or diets, meal plans. And I feel like a lot of people think that they have to have like a certain physique, or, you know, they have to have their certification. You don't need shit. As long as you look like good and like you work out, anybody will pay for it. It's just a matter of like you finding that person and reaching out. So maybe cold calls, you know, cold DMing people, whatever it is. You know, fucking having your family member reach out to all the family members and stuff like that. But it's just up to you how badly you want it. And I knew the best way for me to reach my goals was to completely fucking full send it. And I would advise you guys full send it too, because if you're young and you know, you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to get into bodybuilding, the best way to do it is just focus on it and just grind it out in your 20s, and it'll work out. It just takes time, and it takes, you know, failing to win. So those losses of like, you know, figuring it out, but it just takes time, bro. And but if you really want it, and if this is something that you want to like pursue, full send it. You know, do the online coaching, make content every fucking day as much as you can. And then, you know, if you're still struggling, I would get like a part-time job, do the part-time job thing. If you're like super struggling, then I would just I would find a job that you can do full-time, that you're not you know, burning a shit ton of calories, where you're allowed to eat food and stuff, and where it's more manageable, just because it's just fucking hard, bro. Like, it's never fucking easy. And I'm honestly thinking of getting another fucking part-time job, just because this shit is expensive as fuck, bro. And you don't make money until like you really are up there. And honestly, I wouldn't even be asking advice from me, just because I haven't made it yet. You know, these are just the ideas and experiences I've lived through. But in like the next couple of years, I'll tell you what to do once I do make it. But I'm sure I'll say the same thing. Just don't fucking give up and stick with it and full send it. But it's fucking hard, bro. And there's true, you know, there's true, like, it's special. There's something special when you fully commit to like something, and it's like there's something special about it. Like, it gives you that purpose feeling. But I would keep like a part-time job or like a full-time something where you could work out in the morning or later at night, sometime where you could get your meals in. The meals are more important than the entire workout. You still want to work out hard, but make sure you're getting those meals in, because if you're not getting the meals in and you just work out hard, you're not growing. And I was doing that for a long time because I was doing construction. I would just eat breakfast, lunch, and then a snack before the gym. So if you're a man, if you're a big dude, if you're a full-grown man, and you're only having 3 meals a day or 4 meals a day, while you're working a very, calorie fucking burning job, if anything, you're probably burning a shit ton of fat, shit ton of like carbs, and you're probably maintaining or just staying super lean, or you're just not growing more muscle. And it's just about fucking eating, bro. It's all fucking eating. And it's like, like Ronnie Coleman was a straight up fucking police officer, and he was still slamming fucking 16 ounce protein, fucking 16 ounces of protein every meal. Yeah, 8 to 12 meals, bro. And being a police officer sounds pretty fucking dope. I'm sure he did that. I'm sure he got his police officer's job before he was bodybuilding, I'm pretty sure. Because if you're that big, you can't do like their fitness stuff, running a mile and shit. Like, you ain't seen Ronnie Coleman running a mile. But try and do something that just allows you to eat the meals is what I'm saying. And you'll find something out there that can like work with that, because the meals are more important, bro. The training, you can just do an hour. Like, even if it's like just make that hour a good hour, and just make sure you get your fucking meals in, bro, and you'll grow, especially if you're using anabolics. But the meals are more important than anything. Eating big meals, even if you're not on anabolics, eating is huge. Eating is everything. That's how you grow. That's how the muscle grows. That's how you get bigger. Just pushing those meals down. And I didn't do that for a long time. I wasn't eating correctly for a long time, and it took a lot of trial and error to figure that out. My first cycle, I wasn't eating correctly, and I didn't really grow. And that's what a lot of guys don't understand, is like, you have to have all these things, all these boxes checked. So do yourself a favor. Lock down the eating, lock down the training, the intensity, figuring out how to train that muscle to grow. Full stretch, full range of motion, full intensity every time. And read up on all the supplements you can. Do as much research as you can. It's all out there. And you could get very big and very strong naturally without having to hop on gear. And I feel like if you utilize all your resources first, and you figure out all that stuff first, and eating every 2 hours, and you still want to do bodybuilding, because it's a lot of work, then think about reaching out to a coach or somebody who has a lot of experience with gear and prepping people for shows and stuff, and they could help you do your first cycle and stuff like that, because it's a journey, bro. It's a lifelong process. It doesn't just happen overnight. And wish it did. Nah, but all right. Thank you guys for watching. Long little video. Actually, only 28 minutes. Not too bad. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions or ideas or something that you guys think that I should talk about, drop them in the comments. I'm still gonna do these once a week, just because, or at least twice a week. Yeah, I think these are fun. Just doing, discussions, stuff like that. Just answering common questions about, bodybuilding gear, life, girls, the whole shebang. Because people want to know, and it's important to get other people's perspective on things so you can relate it to yourself, and maybe change some things up. Who knows? All right. Love you guys. Get jacked. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.